So let me just make sure. Okay, it kind of good, kind of good, right? It got the. Hold on. It looks kind of good. Uh, Actually, looks damn near perfect. I just gotta center the let's be real part a little bit. There we go. That's nice. Oh, that's beautiful. And your camera is seen, so that's perfect as well. Boom, bam, bop, boom, and pow. All right. Oh my god. And then I gotta send one to my pops. I know he always likes to tune in for these. WhatsApp. Let me see messages. No, that's not the one. Is it this one? When was the last time we brought the, yeah, nah, it's probably this one here. What's today? The 31st? Nah, that can't be it. That's a month. That means this man's been sending me too many. Yeah, I knew it. He's been sending me a lot of random ass videos. Wait, is this? Hold on. Hold on. Oh, it didn't. It didn't change. Okay, it didn't change the thing. That's why I'm here wondering like what's happening. Um, religion. All right, there you go. Now it's updated. Cool, 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 cool. Okay, cool. All right, so, ugh. What's up, y'all? Today, me and Gerard, aka Ragnarok D, we will be discussing, of course, our perspectives on religion and the afterlife. Do we think there's an afterlife? If so, what does it entail? What is like some certain religion's perspective on it? How we view religion? Religion aspect do we think is correct or wrong in certain respects? Um, this is no turn is facts. Just remember that it's an opinionated takes. All right. So if we say something bad about your religion or anything like that, just correct us. You know what I'm saying? Like, but don't get too hasty. Okay, we just out here. We put in perspective. That's all it is. All right. We ain't spreading misinformation or nothing. We just put perspective. All right. Um. So yeah, I kind of want to go into what are you first, right, Jared? What religion do you feel you are, and how do you differ from those in your religion that, in regards to perspective on that same?
Well, I was raised Catholic. Um, how do I differ from them? I mean, I don't know. I guess I would say maybe I'm not a devout Catholic. Like I'm not like strictly adhering to like every little detail about it. More or less, like I kind of like view like Catholicism, Christianity, like all those basically the same. Obviously, there's differences, but generally it's the
Mm-hmm.
same idea. But all I do is, I guess, the best way to put it was I bet the best way to put it is I take what I need from it. So
Okay.
essentially, like I said, the golden rule, treat others as you want to be treated, aka don't be a dick, and you generally live a pretty good life. That's kind of how I go about it.
Okay. 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 So you would say you're religious,
Yes,
but you're not hardcore. You're not
yeah,
like
because
you
like
need
we
to
all
follow
know,
these rules only.
yeah, I'm sure everyone knows that one person. You're like, yo, what, what is up with that person? That is just so strict on how they like try and do everything or what they think about things. You're just like, damn, bro, relax. It's not that serious.
I mean,
Everyone knows one.
I get that. I get that. So you're talking about like more like fanatics.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Up the next, not just the pop, but like there are people that are just like, whoa, like relax.
Okay, okay, no, that's pretty valid. Honestly, I see it's kind of weird, right? I other than Judaism, you could say I was part of like every Abrahamic religion,
Okay.
right? Oh my bad, Judaism and um, Islam, because almost every Christian type, right? Christian, so Methodist, Baptist, Catholic, um, what's the other one? What's Seventh Day Adventist, like all those branches. Right? I experienced their churches and their teachings and how different they are and everything. It's basically the same thing. But I stopped. Like in my opinion, I believe there's a God. Right.
Mm.
I also believe like he or it intervenes in situations in which they're trying to support. Right.
Mm.
But I also believe that same God stands back because I feel like Christianity kind of explains why, right?
Mm.
But on top of that, there's just to picture this. Just picture this. Can you picture nothing in your head?
I picture nothing in my head.
No, yeah. Can you picture
I mean, the
nothing?
only thing I can think of is just a dark room where you can't see. That's like
And
my
that's still
best guess.
something,
That that's true.
right?
That's true.
So consciousness is not something that science could just say. Like
True.
consciousness, there is no scientific reason for consciousness, right? All they can say your brain developed, but that's it, right? If your brain developed that much, it can picture nothingness. If it was just strictly science, right? Because your brain technically came from nothing, right? The Big Bang. So, and then for me personally, like to have that happen, to have that type of thinking, and then to look back and get taught history and get taught this king didn't like the Bible, so you changed it. And then this person didn't like the Bible because they changed it. And then this person wanted to put in a different story in the Bible because all the peasants couldn't read, so they put in their own story to tell the peasants to then get more indulgences. Right? Like, all that happened. And then the Latin translated to Spanish, and the Spanish translated to Greek, and the Greek to the Latin again, and then there's just so much happening. And then I learned a couple years back about certain books missing from said Bible.
Mm.
Right? I learned about, for example, Enoch is my favorite Bible besides Revelations. Enoch explains why Noah flooded, God flooded the earth.
I
Right?
read it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Enoch explains why. Right? When you was reading the Bible, it just skips all the way to Noah. Like it's just like God looked on the earth and was upset. So
They were sinning, so he's like,
so
"Well, flood that."
yeah, exactly. Like they weren't like sinning the entire time beforehand, right? It's because of the fact that Enoch explains the Watchers, aka the first guardian angels, basically
Mm.
sleeping with women, right? They don't explain that, like because that's why they took it out because these holier than thou beings shown to have fault, right? And if you're in a situation like Spain in this 1500s and whatnot, if you see a book in which angels themselves can sin, what makes you think humans can't? Right? If other people were to read that book, what makes you think they're gonna listen to the Pope about sinning? Right? If angels could do it, and I'm human, I'm lower than angel in regards to that type of control. What's to stop me? Right? So Book of Enoch explains what happened there. It explained how witchcraft and stuff ended up in the world, how war and stuff ended up in the world. All that is through Enoch. Every single thing that's almost wrong with humans, besides disease itself, in regards to our greed, our war, everything like that, Book of Enoch. You know what I'm saying?
But they had to get rid of that. It
They had to.
clashed.
They had to. So to know all that, to know the corruption, to know all that and whatnot, I was like, I don't believe in religion anymore. I don't believe. I believe in spirituality. I believe in there's a God. I believe you're supposed to do good, but I don't believe in religion because religion has agendas. They have agendas, right? There is no reason why certain churches are $2-5 million churches, and the pastors owning a Porsche and shit like that,
or a jet or something. Yeah, ridiculous.
It doesn't make sense, you know. Another picture, yeah, it's gonna change. The artist is gonna change it because he modeled it after another picture that I liked, and I told him I wanted kind of like the same thing. So yeah, so he's gonna change the plan around.
like make it a Canadian leaf or something.
Nah, it's gonna be red. It's gonna be red, like kind of like poison ivy type.
Or it could look like a what is it? A Japanese maple leaf? It would kind of look like.
Did the title not change itself? The title should have changed itself.
No, it still says. It still says NBA.
Yeah, it said it's successfully updated here.
Oh, now it did. Okay,
did?
I refreshed the page. Now it fixed itself.
Okay, I know I was tripping. So yeah, so with that in hand, Jaron, what do you think is the not right way, but the best way to go about if a God exists, and whatnot? How should we act? Like, what do you think should be kind of like the basis of most all religions?
I mean, essentially, I'd like to think, at least, that initially the basis of all religions was it was supposed to be a guide on how to live a good life. Because we can't live a perfect life because humanity is flawed, as we see throughout endless times throughout history. We got issues, but it's just a general guide on how you should be living your life. 10 Commandments, don't kill, don't steal, don't covet, love your neighbor as thyself. And there's like various examples throughout the Bible of like, it's like if you see someone who needs help, help them. Why not? Be a good person. Okay. But issue is, as you pointed out, religions have agendas. And once again, as you saw through history, those agendas can cause a lot of issues. For instance, the Crusades. How many people got slaughtered because of just, look, oh, God said, kill those people. Let's go. We're going over there. We're going to kill them all. A lot of people died. If you look at now, Islamic extremists, terrorists, they blow shit up and kill a bunch of innocent people.
Yeah.
So its initial idea, and I guess sort of the roots of it, had the right idea, but people doctored verses, they removed stuff, as you pointed out. They changed things so it fits their agenda, just so they can get their way, and it kind of got twisted. So now we have what it is today, where it's like still it generally has the same overall idea, but there's just other annoying ideas thrown in that kind of muddy the water.
Okay.
So I would say you kind of should take, well, it's just my opinion, but you should take it with a grain of salt. So like, don't just like, oh, this is what it says, so this must be it. No, they changed it throughout history. And also I'm sure they've mistranslated plenty of stuff. So, take it with a grain of salt. Okay. Don't just blindly follow it.
So do you think that in regards to like some of the Eastern religions in which you kind of gotta let go of earthly desires, do you think that can also play into how we should be going about things?
I mean, hell, doesn't the Bible say don't? Doesn't the Bible say that, like letting go of earthly possessions? I think that's, what did Jesus say to the one guy? It was the one
what did Jesus say to the one guy?
No, it was like the one guy. He was like, it was some rich guy, and he said, "Oh, like he said, my Lord, how can I like get into your house?" And he said, "You need to let go of all your earthly possessions." But the guy was rich, and he was like, "Well, damn, bro, I don't know about that."
See, that's different. That's greed. Like,
true.
That's greed. Most of the rich people back then,
that's true, got
their riches off of other people. If you know what I'm saying, like tax collectors mostly, and I believe it was a tax collector. So people had to sacrifice in order to get those people rich. the issue with I mean what Jesus was talking about basically is like you got to be ready to know that this is temporary.
Yeah.
Right, this is temporary. Let go of your earthly possessions. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, it's a thing that a lot of people don't realize is that, and this is a theory. This is a theory. The devil, in regards to Earth, was given dominion over Earth.
Mm.
Right. So we look at him as evil and da 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 da. But if you truly look at it, the devil hasn't done an evil act. Not once. That's the crazy part, ain't it?
Well, I mean, people like to blame for everything, but I'm like, nah. Remember, you got
You're
free
the
will.
remember. So the devil's whole job is to tempt you. That's it. That's his whole.
You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do
kill.
it.
He can't kill you. He can't lay a hand on you. It actually shows in the book of Job. The devil needs permission to touch people. Right? What did he do? He went to God, said, "Yo, let me tempt this dude Job. Like he praising you, so let me tempt him real quick." Right? If it wasn't the devil's job to tempt and he's just doing whatever he wants, he would have just did it. He would just went to Job and be like, "Yeah, fuck your family." You know what I mean? But he did. He had to ask God for permission. People don't realize that the devil is the ultimate tester. He's like the what's the word? Like picture God as like a superintendent,
Mm-hmm.
and the devil's the principal. Right?
I got you. Okay, all right, I got you.
Everybody goes to the school. The principal cannot make changes to the school without the superintendent's approval.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But end of the day, can that principal touch these students? No. Right? Can you control the students? No, not really. Right? I feel like though, with religions and things like that, I feel like though the basis of it is just be good, be thoughtful, but also remember you're flawed. Right? Now I don't mean like you kill somebody and then you say, "Oh God, forgive me." No. That's different. We ain't no hell no. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but if you literally kill somebody, I do not see you making it. Like I don't.
It depends. It depends.
It don't.
I think it does.
It don't.
Like, if you're just like, there's a difference between a serial killer, right?
Uh-huh.
Versus someone like, if someone's trying to stab you in an alleyway, bro, and we scrap and I end up killing you, that's not me like trying to be evil or
How'd you kill him?
malicious.
How'd you kill him? You want to talk about?
Let's see, I got the knife from him.
And then okay, so what's the threat now?
He kept yelling at me again.
Yeah, see, you see,
No, but it's like, what if you took the knife and they still charging you and trying to get you? It's
if
like,
they still charge you, man, now you got no fingers. Like, you see what I'm talking about? Like, once they, so that scenario. Say you got the knife, boom, took the knife from them. They charge you. They're stupid. That's number one, right? Number two, the body's a big body.
True.
No eyeball for you. No nose for you, no mustache. You getting a clean shave, right? No finger, no nipple, anything. You don't have to stab them in the abdomen and then go, it was self-defense.
Well, I mean, that's kind of wishful thinking, though.
No,
bro, it depends on who. Like, it depends on the person.
No,
some people don't care.
You know how you know humans aren't meant to really kill each other?
How?
Because every person that killed another person has PTSD, no matter what.
Unless you're a psychopath.
Oh, they still have PTSD.
You think so?
They break. That's their whole thing. Remember, a psychopath literally breaks after the first killing. Their mind, it may be borderline, but after the first killing, it's gone. Right? Which is why they continue to do it. Right? So what I read a couple years back, I forgot the book, but some serial killers, they can't get their first victim out of their head, so they kill again to get that victim out of their head, but they can't do it, so they got to kill again. It's like they're trying to find a new victim so they can get that first victim out, because all they see is that first victim in their nightmares. Stefan said the devil is basically the son who has to prove he could run the family business. Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And a lot of so one thing I have an issue with is glorification of that devil. That's my only issue. But I'll talk about that later. But in regards to the basis of religion, it's hard. There's a reason why it's easier to be bad. Right? There's a reason. I feel like humans are net because of the whole Adam and Eve thing with the apple and whatnot, blah blah blah. Actually, it wasn't even the Adam and Eve apple. It was the first murder, Cain and Abel. After the Cain and Abel situation, right? I feel like we after that was just born to do bad shit naturally, right? A kid has to be taught not to take stuff. Does he not? Right? A kid has to be taught that's not yours. Don't take it. Because what? The kid was going to take it, right? Right. We had to be taught don't take nobody else's stuff. Right? We had to be taught don't hurt that person. You know what I'm saying? We had to be taught don't lie. That's bad. You know what I'm saying? Like all that happens because I think we're naturally bad.
Isn't that?
Go ahead.
Well, wouldn't you like? Wouldn't that kind of before we kind of delve into like societal / being good people? Isn't that sort of just us being like another animal? Like it's like if you have like a pack of wolves or something like that, and it's like some dude's weak, you not getting shit because
You would think that, but I don't think that has to do with animal instincts or anything. For example, aren't you born knowing that killing your mom is bad? Aren't you born that way? You don't have to say, "Hey, don't kill your mother." No, you know that's a bad thing. You know that's a bad thing.
Right? True. Even when someone teach you today, like if you accidentally hurt someone, like even when you're little, like I don't know, when you're little, some like I would say like between like 3 and 5, sure you're getting taught stuff, but I don't think a lot of it sticks really just yet.
Yeah, but you're not getting taught to kill, not to kill someone.
Nah.
You're not.
But like when you hit that one kid and like someone starts crying, you're like, oh shit, that was bad. Wait a minute, I feel bad now.
So
and it kind of
that to me is for me personally is how you have a soul. I feel like a soul gives you a base rule of things, right? Survival type things you're always gonna run to, right? That's more of the body, right? That's more the body speaking. You need food, you're gonna go get that food, right? You need water, you're gonna get the water. Anything you need, you're gonna go get it no matter what because your body needs it to survive. But in regards to your spirit, I feel like there's basis rules. For example, you always feel good after doing a good deed. Why? Because it refreshes the spirit, right? You know not to kill. Why? Because your spirit goes, listen, that ain't it. Like that's numero uno of shit you're not supposed to do, right? But say you steal from somebody, right? Right. The act of stealing is fine. But what happens after you steal from somebody? All you're doing is thinking about it.
It's true.
All you're doing is thinking about it. Even if you stole a candy bar from a store, you're still thinking about it. Even hours after the candy bar is gone. Right? Because your spirit knows, okay, that wasn't good. That's not smart. Raise a kid in a jungle with 2 parents that probably know proper language and things like that. Keep them away from society, but they can interact with each other. That kid's still gonna know what not and what to do. Now, when it comes to societal standards, like don't go in there with a woman and all that stuff. That's the society. That's just us, right? But then, truly, if you look at it, people took religion, of all of them, took religion and made it their own personal thing. And you was talking about the fanatics. I know a couple of them. And I've been wanting to get this off my chest. No, it's mostly Christian fanatics. God does not want you to devote your life only to Him. Hear me out. There's a reason why He gives you free will, right? There's a reason you go out there and have kids. There's a reason why you leave your family behind when you go and have those kids, right? There's a reason you raise animals and cattle and stuff like whatever in the old times. You had your own life to worry about and things like that. What God wanted, in my opinion, is for you to just know or just remember to love Him, though. Right? Appreciate Him for all He gave you, but don't devote your entire life to Him. Right? Because if He wanted everybody to devote their entire lives, what's the point of free will? Right? If He, hell, look at what they talk about with churches. Churches aren't the keystone to God. Right? Your relationship to God is between you and Him. Your body's a temple. Your body is a temple. Why? Because your spirit's already there. His spirit's already there. This is the church. I'm the church. Right? Whenever you pray, whenever you do anything like that, it's right here. Right? You don't go to church and then go, now I can talk to God. You don't do that. Right? But the reason why you do why we normally go to church now isn't to talk to God. It's to be around other people that feel the same way we do. You feel me?
I got you. Okay.
That's all it is, right? You don't have to go to church to talk to God. You could, I could turn off this podcast right now and talk to God myself. And it'll be as powerful, if not more powerful, than going somewhere else. You get what I'm saying?
He's saying preach, doctor.
Like that's. Oh snap! That's my dad. That's my dad. What's up, pops? He said, "Preacher." No, I'm serious though. Don't get me wrong. Church is fun, right? Well, church is only fun for me when there's 3 sections of church. That's fun. The church I used to go to, that I gotta start going again. They always have food after church. So I used to grub. You know what I'm saying? I used to, when people they would sing, do a little hand clap. The choir walks out. I used to cut people in line like, yeah, right, yeah, go sister, yeah. And I'll be the first one in there to the food, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get some Sunday food. You know what I'm saying? There's that. That's number 1. Number 2 is the choir when the songs be hitting.
Okay, yeah.
When the songs be hitting, you stand up, you feeling it. Number 3 is when the pastor goes on a sermon. And, most of the old pastors, they sweaty. They got the napkin like, you know what I'm saying? They do all that. Put the napkin in the back of the robe that somehow got pockets. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got all that happening. And legit, it is always a sermon about life now, right? Life connected to the Bible. So when I look at those things, I go, dang, all these people appreciate a creator. So why in the hell would a creator want them to devote life to that creator 24/7? It doesn't make sense. Because that creator who loves their children, right? The creator loves their children. Mm. Why would he not want those same children to go out there and live and have fun? Does it make sense to you? Does it make sense to you? A parent can say, I love you, but never want you to have fun at all, period? Like, you gotta be in the house 24/7, be in their room 24/7, and be like, you're so great, you're so great, you're so great, 24/7. No, it logically doesn't make sense. It illogically doesn't make sense. Logic and illogical, like, it just doesn't make sense, bro. Which then I ask you this. Why do you think fanatics and radicals do what they do, though? Is it truly for the love of their creator? Or is it more personal gain?
out of 10 times. Personal gain.
Oh yeah, explain.
I mean, what's that? One dude? Joel Osteen. Is that his name?
I have no idea.
That super rich religious dude. He's the one that during Hurricane Katrina he shut the doors to his.
Oh yep. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like him? Yeah. It's like nah. He's not good. He's not doing any of that for God. No. Nah. He just wants money. That's it.
But okay, what about All right, what about the Crusades? What was the motivation for those in the Crusades? Was that also personal gain?
I mean, you would get the land.
You was less prone to come back from the Crusades than you were to cough once and die from the plague.
True.
So
But I mean, I forget what the verse is, but there's a verse that talks about how like God feels about other religions and how there may be a time to wage war against them. But
oh, it's basically blasphemy.
yeah,
But again, this is why you got to read the book of Enoch. It kind of explains why there's other religions out there.
let me just put it on my Google.
You gotta Google
Enoch. Book of Enoch, so I can read this afterwards.
Because those same angels that were cast down after they made it with women wanted to be viewed as God Himself. So what would make sense for those same angels to become gods, right? In other ways, I personally think that remember the Tower of Babel?
Mm-hmm.
I personally think that everybody had one religion in the Tower of Babel. But humans were so united that they felt they needed to go meet God Himself. God was like, I don't know who y'all think y'all are, but y'all ain't nowhere near my level.
The children were rebelling.
No, they weren't even rebelling. It's like, you know, when you get a certain age, you feel like you could take on your parents.
I got you.
That's what it was. Humanity was so united. It was like, all right, next level is God. We peaked here. We on to Him now, right?
So he just give a little spanking.
And He was like, first of all, we ain't gonna have that. Struck down the Tower of Babel. Remember, it says that everybody started speaking different languages.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now you're seeing different interpretations of that same God that nobody can agree with. You know what I'm saying? You go to Egyptian mythology, and what happens? They give a personification to the creation. They give personification to death, all that stuff. Like everything has a personification. Why? Because it makes more sense than one person doing everything. Meanwhile, in the Western religions and in Islam, it's literally one person did everything. Right? And then you look at Taoism and stuff like that, it's more like we're spiritually eternal. So it wasn't a creator, more just us forming things ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like the universe itself is the creator. Like and we're always one with the universe. Right? But I think like the whole Tower of Babel, I feel like certain things in the Bible are more like, instead of stories, like genuine stories that actually happened, it was more like, how you say,
what's a book of parables? Isn't that the rule?
Isn't that parable? Like, because it's kind of like this. If I told you I walked to the store yesterday, right? I walked 10 feet to the store yesterday or something, right? 20, 30 years from now, and I tell the same story, instead of walking 10 feet, I walk mountains. Right? So I'm giving you a story that may have happened, but in a more radical sense that it's a story still. Right? I got from point A to B in 5 minutes, but in the story I got from point A to B on a treacherous journey.
Like how our parents also say it when I was in school.
Yeah, I used to wake up at 2 a.m. and herd the sheep, and then by 3 o'clock I fought a shark, and
like,
but
where were you living? What?
But not like those are things that I feel like you got to consider. Now, do I think everything in the Bible happened? No, I don't think everything happened. Right? Exaggeration, yeah. I don't think everything happened, but to make it more interesting, certain stories are built for interpretation. Example: Genesis.
Mm.
We talk about days, right? On the fifth day, on the sixth day, right? We put it in days because days are an easy way for us to phase, right? We even back then, days was how we told things. On the seventh day, on the sixth day, da da da. What if that seventh day meant 7 billion years, right? Or on the seventh phase of the world becoming what it is.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? We never know about that because we don't know the interpretation. We ain't lived back then, right? The apple. A lot of people actually say it wasn't an actual apple; it was sex itself. That Eve, that Eve slept with the serpent, right? In Judaism, you had Lilith, who was Adam's first wife, right? Who, and I remember what they did. I remember what they said. They said, just a little summary about Lilith. Adam was born from the ground. Lilith was also born from the ground. Lilith was supposed to be subservient to Adam, but because she was also born from the ground, she thought she was Adam's equal. So she often ended up mistreating Adam. And I believe she ended up walking away from God, and God said, "You know what? Nah, we ain't gonna have that," and kicked her out. And then he, instead of having that happen again, he made somebody who comes directly from Adam, Eve. He took a rib out from Adam instead of making her from ground. Because if you, even logically, if you look at it, did it make sense to have one, like a whole human made from the ground, and then you want to make another human and you don't make them from the ground too? Like instead you put Adam to sleep and go, that's a good looking rib right there. Yeah, and then he wakes up to another, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, logically it didn't make sense. So you can see these holes in scripture and go, oh. Same with Cain and Abel. Not Cain and Abel itself, but when Cain married his wife, people was like, oh, who'd he marry? His sister, bro.
The only other female there.
like mind you, nowhere in the Bible does it say Adam and Eve only had 2 children. No, they talk about in that moment they had 2 children. All right, Adam and Eve lived for, I think, about, if I'm correct, at least 900 to 1,000 plus years each. You mean to tell me, and part of my language, you two, you mean to tell me they were fucking only twice? Come on, bro.
Nah.
Come on, bro. 1,000 years, bro. 1,000 twice? No. They populated the earth. But we didn't have, how you call it? We didn't have disruptive genes. Is that what it is? Like, you know how, like, with people of incest and stuff like that, like,
that wasn't a thing yet. No.
Yeah, so you didn't. There was no mutation or anything in your genes yet.
Because they were the first ones.
Exactly.
So I mean, that takes so long to actually start occurring. So.
Exactly. So that person that Cain married was his sister, but there was no repercussion in it genetically, because ain't no disease to pass on, ain't no mutation to pass on, ain't no extra chromosome or broken cell or anything like that to pass on. Right? They came out just normal. Right?
For all intents and purposes, almost perfect.
Basically, right? And what happens? Right? They went and populated the earth. Sons and everything go out there and populate, right? Everybody go populate. But they were all still related. They all still had the same mama and daddy. Right? So I'm just saying it's kind of nasty now when we think about it back. But back then, that was normal to them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but you look at those holes in scripture and you still wonder what happened, which means you know something's missing. And the fact that it's 21st century and it's still not there in a current version of the Bible, you start to second guess it. You start to second guess it. We hell, Jesus, you know, is the Lord and Savior for Christianity, and we don't know about anything from him, bro. Literally, I kid you not. Ready? Jesus was born. Jesus was 9 years old. Jesus was 33.
And a carpenter.
That's all we knew. That's all we knew. Right? From 1 to 9, we have nothing. From 9 to 33, we have nothing. But y'all somehow knew what happened in between 1 and 33, but you ain't gonna say it, right? Like, why? Because there's missing pieces of scripture. You see what I'm talking about? Like, you can't have this much whole plot. It's not even plot holes. It's like if Shippuden happened, like Naruto Shippuden happened right after the Chunin exams. How does that work? Right? Like, how does that work? But you know, we took it as face value. We're like, ain't nothing wrong with that. Now in the 21st century, we question everything. You know, but I gotta give your opinion on this one. Religious treatment of women. What you take between the radicals and more prosperous ones?
Well, I think initially they tried to, I guess, somewhat model it off of with Adam and Eve, since as pointed out, Lilith wasn't exactly like subservient, and Eve more or less, I wouldn't say she was like a servant to him, but you know, she treated him as like the head. It's like, all right, I'll follow you. So I guess they took that and were like, all right, so here's the thing, women, y'all do whatever we say because we're the dude. Eve submitted to Adam, so therefore y'all have to submit to us and do whatever we want. Stay in the house, cook, clean, take care of the kids, and just do that. You don't get to do anything. We will do everything. But I think they took it just, you know, they just ran with it. And like, it's like, okay, y'all can't read, y'all can't write, you're not allowed to drive, you're not allowed to own property, you're not allowed to buy things without us. And, you know, as a lot of issues that we have, it's kind of stem from that.
Oh.
But I don't think it was initially meant to be that level of restriction. Like, how I look at it as, what was I trying to think? If I'm like the commander, like, you know, okay, here you go. Full Metal Alchemist. You know how basically the relationship Mustang has with what's her name? Oh my god, gun chick.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. Riza, Lieutenant Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, yep.
I think it was supposed to be like that. It's like, I'm in charge, but I know you got my back and I got yours. That's initially how I think it was supposed to be.
Okay. Oh, okay, that's pretty valid. That's valid. Okay. So then I gotta ask them. Is more of a perspective on it. So a lot of people are speculating that being in a relationship, right, with only one person was more European culture. Every other culture, you can have more than one relationship, one wife. So that's why they say naturally men tend to go after multiple women because they're naturally not supposed to. What do you think about that? Do you think like relationships were Europeanized too much, or is that really like a load of hooey?
I think it's just, I don't even think that has to do with religion. I just think the reason why men try to go after multiple women is just biological. Oh. It's like, I mean, I'm just keep it simple. It's like, look at every species. They try and get with as many females as they can.
To be fair, they die.
Oh yeah.
to be fair, they die after finding one.
Some of them do. I mean, it depends on the species, but like generally, it's like, you know.
Actually, the craziest part is unless it's a pack, like one of those pack types, the female's bigger than the male majority of the time, aren't they?
Mostly that's with insects.
Yeah.
Mammalian-wise, generally the male is bigger, but there's still a few exceptions. So like in hyenas, the female is bigger than the males, and they beat the shit out of the males all the time.
To be fair, the female hyena has a penis.
Pseudo penis. It don't count.
It's a damn penis.
But like with like lions, the male's bigger, and he has a harem of females. But like if you ever watch Animal Planet long enough, the females will occasionally just beat his ass because he pisses them off.
Yep.
So
He still needs to tread carefully.
yeah.
So yeah, so okay, okay. So with that in hand, then, right? What do you think is more correct?
Mm, that's a good question. What is right? Um, I can see the benefits of both, but I don't know. I really don't think there's like a right answer. I feel like it depends on the person. Some people just want the monogamous relationship between them and their spouse, and that's it, and they're fine with that. Other people want a little bit more wiggle room. So, I mean, it depends on the people, and I guess it depends on what you're actually looking for.
Okay.
Like, if you just want to have sex, it's like obviously you're not supposed to be in a monogamous relationship.
Yeah.
So it's like just be damn, what's that term called? Jesus, polygamous. Thank you, my God.
Yeah.
Be polygamous. But if you truly just want to devote yourself to one person, it's like, all right, monogamy's for you. Everybody's different.
Okay. Now this one's gonna be like more of a mental slash spiritual thing. This one we're going to the afterlife
All right. Oh man. Oh boy.
now. So with that in hand, this one first is a yes no question. Do you think there's an afterlife?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't know, but I hope there is because the thought of not existing terrifies the hell out of me.
And why does it terrify you?
Because I don't know what the hell that means.
Okay then. You see, you guys. You see, like that's my whole thing.
Like what does it mean to not exist? Well, it's like, well, you're just not there. Well, what does that mean? Well, maybe you're like asleep. Nah, sleeping is something. What does that mean to not exist?
Yep.
You don't know.
Even when you feel nothing while you're sleeping, you feel like your body's just shut down. You're still doing something. You still have sensations. You still have awareness. You may not have immediate awareness, but you still have awareness. You cannot fathom nothingness. You literally cannot fathom nothingness. Right? So if somebody says there's nothing, you can't fear that. You know why? Because nothing is nothing, which means if you stop existing, you can't then feel bad about not existing. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't think about the life you just had and while you not exist. It don't make sense. Now, with that being said, I feel like there is an afterlife. I feel like if you're a genuinely good person, you get to it. I don't think anybody goes to hell. Let me rephrase that.
I was like, you sure about that?
I think people go to hell, but not for forever. Only
Okay.
because in the God I believe in, they love. Remember, this God loves everybody like to a T, like with the most love you can have. Ain't no person gonna watch their own children burn forever.
Okay.
Which it actually does explain as well in the Bible as well. Hell disappears. Like the people that were burning for a while, they turn to ash, and that's it. They stop existing. You know what I'm talking about?
Actually,
But then you can't really leave the Bible in hand because it says basically like not even 1/100th of any human possible every human makes it to heaven. Right? Like I think there's only a couple thousand like make it to heaven.
yeah.
And I'm like hell no, bro.
Initially it's the chosen people who go first.
Yeah.
And then then they go through and select everyone else and they're like, all right, we'll see y'all burn forever, bye. And it's like, oh shit, what? Huh?
I feel,
Like damn.
them, you know DBZ
Mm.
when they have that remember in the Janema movie they had the cleaner for souls, like it washes away their sins.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like it's something along those lines. I feel like
It's the tension, basically.
yeah, I feel like when you die and you did something so horrific in life, horrific, mind you. I mean like either ending a life or led to the ending of life. Right? I feel like if you're genuinely sorry about it, instead and not out of fear, but that you're genuinely sorry, I think you can get it. Right. But then it's also like, one, what is up there? Like, is it our own personal heaven, like Supernatural does it, where it's like we're familiar with everything around? Is it like we're all naked, like Garden of Eden type stuff? Do we remember our past on Earth, everything like that? Like, do we remember those things? Or is it like starting over again? We're more like reincarnation, right? But starting over in a way that you now have a great life. You know what I'm saying, in heaven. Right? Like, you don't you it's your same soul. You could probably grow up with the same body, but instead of like being born on earth, you're born in heaven, uh in the way that God intended, which is like, again, Garden of Eden, everything is hunky dory, you live forever, no violence, no malice, no, everything's fine, right? And then that whole be fruitful and multiply actually begins when Adam and Eve went back into the Garden of Eden after the fact. But I think they went back in my after they died. I think that's what heaven is, Garden of Eden.
Well, actually, Lucifer had a great quote from the series about hell.
Yeah.
Actually, he said, "You send yourselves, driven down by your own guilt, forcing yourselves to relive your sins over and over. And the best part is, the doors aren't locked. You could leave any time." It says something that no one ever does, doesn't it? So that makes it, once again, seen as you pointed out, it's not permanent, but you stay there.
You said
Or I don't know if you keep yourself, but
that makes sense. You ever think about your dreams? Ever
yeah.
notice? Right? It's kind of hard to lucid dream. It's kind of hard. People don't really. It's hard to do it because you have to realize it's a dream first. Ever notice anything could happen in your dream, and no matter what, you think it's real? Right? You could literally be in your bed, right? Like, by the end of this podcast, you could be in your bed, right? In your dream, you're on top of the Empire State Building, and you're falling. You will jump up. You will jump up and go, right? Logically, it made no sense for you to be scared because how the hell did you get there? Because your brain doesn't process information when it does that. That's what lucid dreaming does. Lucid dreaming is, I'm aware this is a dream. I can now control what I see next. That's why lucid dreaming is oftentimes a goal for multiple people, because then they could have the perfect dream every night. But in regards to this, and this is a theory that somebody else had. Your dreams are your past life, or different interpretations of your past life, some shit like that. If you dreamed you was falling out of a sky or something like that, probably happened. If you dreamed you were in a cartoon or whatever, you're associating that cartoon with something in your past. Like, there's meanings behind your dreams, of course, because your subconscious takes in information that you weren't aware of. You know what I'm saying? And you know what's the scariest part? That's hilarious. Your brain cannot make faces. You can't make faces. Right? Even if you mix everybody's face in the world or try to, your dream can't do it. Because your brain can't do it by itself. So what your brain does is take that subconscious, and every person you passed on the street today, every person you saw in the street, every person you saw growing up, all that is saved. So them pedestrians in your dream, you already saw them before. They ain't random people, technically. You know what I'm saying? But, okay. So,
On that note, what do you think is paradise?
paradise?
Can we fathom that?
I can't shit. Yeah, so I got
Because I'm like,
look,
am I sitting on a beach?
this right here, this right here. Give me 2 million cases of this with some bread and cheese, bro. And I'm in paradise. I'm on the beach. I'm chilling. It ain't hot. It ain't cold. I'm just chilling. But nah, if it were to be real, I can fathom paradise because paradise is based off what you want, true.
So you think it's your own personal paradise for
Exactly.
everybody?
Right. The only time you can have a paradise in which everybody has the same is if you get rid of certain parts of them themselves.
True.
Right? Because my paradise could be what I just told you. Right? Somebody else's paradise can be so radical that it's hiking on Mount Vesuvius before it blows up or something like that and surviving and chilling. Like it could be something radical. So that's why I raised the question before, like, do we still remember what happened while we were alive?
Mm.
Right? Or does our spirits naturally are prone to like certain things? You know, and it might be those certain things we may be bartered off. Hell, heaven could be so vast and unlimited that it could be like Pokemon, right? Different regions, right? Different regions, right? Based off your own preference. Hey, I feel like doing this today. I walk through to that region. I can do this in this region. Da, da, da. I feel like heaven, in my God's opinion, is a second chance, but without the struggle.
I got you.
Right. That's what I feel like it is. I feel like you still will have your earthly desires, but not like the crazy ones, right? Not like
There's no twisted versions of it. It's just
it's literally like you'll never go hungry. You always have the food you want. You always have the water you want. Hell, even in marriage, I feel like they try to say it's not the case in when you marry, you're not married in heaven, but then it also contradicts the whole unity of souls and stuff like that the marriage ceremony is supposed to do. Right, the whole soulmate and all that stuff. Like, how you gonna tell everybody to have a soulmate and your marriage is one underneath God and everything like that? And then if you both get into heaven, y'all not married no more. That does that make sense to you? It don't to me, right? So, so my personal opinion, I feel like you're gonna have the family you always wanted, the partner you always wanted, the kids you always wanted. I just feel like literally it's gonna be Eden, but a more updated version.
okay.
Right? No serpents, no reptiles, right?
No temptation.
Right. Um, but you can't. We can't fathom two things though, which is why it's pretty crazy when we think about it. We can't fathom nothingness, and we cannot fathom forever. You know what I'm saying? Because nothingness. Think about it this way too, and I know you're gonna notice this, Mr. Scientist. Nothingness involves thinking outside of matter.
Mm. Okay.
Forever involves thinking outside of time. Time and matter is literally all we are comprised of. So how can we fathom a 4D construct with a 3D mind that only sees 2D? Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Quote that. Duncan 2021. Talking about. But yeah. And which also praises the question into when people ask, "Oh, who made God?" People can exist out of time. If somebody exists out of time, they don't have to have a beginning, because beginning means time, right? So if somebody says they always existed, you can't fathom it no matter how hard you try, because you're gonna always, even if you think about it right now, you're gonna always try to equate it to how much time passed when they realized they were existing, or how long ago did they exist? Like, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna always equate time to it, because that's all we can think about. We can only understand the laws of our own universe. We can't think about anything outside of it. You know what I'm saying? So here's a question I gotta ask you. It's gonna be two questions before we go. Do you think there's alternate universes? Because in Supernatural, God or Chuck, right, Supernatural, he created multiple universes to have multiple different outcomes. Do you think we have alternate universes? I think
I
it's
mean,
three
maybe
questions.
maybe it's
Actually.
just the Marvel fan in me, but I'd like to think so.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
maybe there's a Jared who's a painter. Maybe there's a Jared who's a billionaire. Maybe there's a Jared who I don't know. Maybe I'm a fish for some reason. I don't know.
Okay. So then the second part.
Mhm.
Do you think there are other humans that God, the other planets, that God did the same thing with us, but then had different reactions? For,
100%.
for example, the whole Jesus thing. We everybody crucified him, right?
Mhm.
So off on another planet they accepted him, and then another planet they was like they didn't pay him no mind at all. Like like imagine on different planets, and the whole Jesus coming back and laying waste to the earth and all that stuff is because of what we did. Like he comes back and like yeah dad pops that planet right there gotta go. It gotta go. I'm gonna save a couple of them. It gotta go. Right? Do you think that's possible to have different planets with different humans?
I think so. I mean, like people are always like they're like, well, in the Bible it only talks about Earth. I'm like, fair, but why would God tell you about planet like X5? Why would you need to know about that?
Okay,
It has no effect on you because it's like halfway across the universe. Nah, he's gonna keep it local.
that's valid.
Also, just based off of how big the universe is, there's other life out there. It has to be. There's no way. It's just like oh humans and then nothing.
I mean,
That'd also just be a waste of time too.
to be fair, we literally live in a solar system with 8 planets and nothing on them. But think about the whole design part, because think about it this way: each planet serves a purpose. For example, Jupiter is only gas,
So yeah,
right?
John, you can't land on it. You can't physically stand on it.
Right, and it's so hot closer to its core that hydrogen becomes metal. Right? But the biggest thing is Jupiter being that big of a planet and that strong of a gravitational force keeps asteroids from hitting us. It actually also keeps us in the orbit of the sun. That one planet not only saves our planet, but makes sure our planet stays correct. How in the hell is that not designed? We live literally in a tranquility zone.
The perfect zone.
2 feet away. We move 2 feet out that zone, we're done.
We freeze or we fry.
2 feet. This big, basically. Right? This big. If we move this much to the left or right, we're done, bro. How is that not design, bro? How is that not intellectual design? Dude. Yeah.
Is like because I don't know, like it's just too convenient to say, oh well, it's just by random chance. I'm like, nah, bro, come on, let's
Ain't no
let's
chance. Ain't no chance in the world. Not only there ain't no chance, but the fact that we're able to stay on it. We have not moved from it. And the fact that the planet behind us, or no, the planet behind us saves us every minute. You know how big them asteroids are? The asteroid belt is literally behind Mars. There are some asteroids bigger than us.
That's true.
Right?
I mean, we had what it's been 2 asteroid strikes we've ever had in the documented history of our world that we
Two
were
big
able to
ones.
determine. I think it was 2.
There was life on Jupiter, but I heard they were more stupider. Oh God.
Boo!
Boo.
Boo!
But yeah, man, there's a lot more. There's a lot more to think about. But I'm telling
Bro, do
you
you
guys,
realize every second our planet could be wiped out? Like
any second we will know. We will
the
know.
amount of things that could go wrong and wipe out our planet. Here's a few: rogue planet drifting through our solar system rips us from our orbit and kills us all.
Mhm.
2, solar flare from the sun fries the shit out of us.
And those
Or
happen
from
in an
another
instant.
star.
Those happen in an instant.
And also, it travels at the speed of light, so you wouldn't even see it coming. It would just be, we dead.
Nearby supernovas,
Asteroids, a drifting black hole.
drifting black hole for sure. Our galaxies combining with the Andromeda galaxy. There's also that. In the center of the universe is a black hole. That's another thing right there. I forgot. Somebody else told me something, but there could be. It's from a supernova, but it's like an exploding star's rays can be coming to us.
Scorch the surface in an instant and destroy atmosphere.
It literally can be coming to us right now, and we only see it as a star right now because, of course, they're millions of light years away. So the information processing is millions of years late. You know what I'm saying? What else is there?
We can get hit by massive electromagnetic pulse from the sun, fry all of our electronics, dipping us into the Stone Ages again.
And then the moon can one day just say, "I don't care anymore," and then there's so much.
I'm leaving.
There's so much that can happen to us, and it doesn't. If you look at it, ever since humanity has been on this planet, nothing has happened to us in regards to terrestrial shit.
Stone could erupt. That's game.
You know what I'm saying? But you see what I'm talking about though. Like, we haven't had a human level extinction event since we got here. Every other animal has. Every living thing has but us. That is crazy. That's intellectual design. I'm just saying. Like, we're more protected than even scientists can admit. But what's your final take on it, brother?
I mean, the one argument is that you can't prove that there's a God, and I'm like, yes, we can't test it. We can't, like, there's no God detector out there. But I think it's more of in your heart of hearts, that something out there created us, or at least planted the seeds for us to grow.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And now we're here.
Okay.
Fighting with each other over dumb shit, but
so,
we here.
I got 3. 1, I believe there's a God. There are too many things that point more towards there being a God than there is to point away from there being a God. That's number 1. Number 2, I believe there's an afterlife because of the fact that consciousness. Consciousness actually cannot disappear. Right? Because consciousness is not matter. If you really, consciousness is not matter.
Gotcha. I got you.
So, once the body dies, the consciousness goes somewhere else. Right, so that's 2. 3, I'm telling you guys, get the Book of Enoch. Read the Book of Enoch. Hell, there's probably like 20,000 YouTube videos about an hour long talking about the Book of Enoch. That is gonna let you know that the Bible was hiding so many big time stories in which you just couldn't fathom. Oh my God, that's why this happened. This is why that happened. Da, da, da.
Oh, last question.
Go ahead.
When did you become self-aware? Like, when did your consciousness, awaken?
3.
3?
I was 3. It was Christmas. The earliest memory I have was Christmas in the islands. The only other time I went for Christmas ever. And my 2 sisters were there. My mom was there. We had a Christmas tree, which is weird because it's the islands. You know what I'm saying? We had a Christmas tree and everything. I was about 2 or 3 years old. From there, I have no other memory until I'm 4. Right, but I know for most it's 4. When he's 4 years old, that's what I do have a theory on that. A quick one. We are on autopilot until that time.
I would agree to that.
Yeah. Our bodies are just natural bodies. We're just doing baby shit, blah blah blah. But once you become 4, you become an individual. Once you become 4, a soul goes into you, in my opinion.
I think 3 sounds about right. Because I don't know. I think it was at recess outside of pre-K. I was like, "Hey, yo, I'm a person."
I'm a person.
Oh, snap.
This man's a damn fool, y'all. So with that, we appreciate y'all for coming through. I appreciate my pops for finally commenting because he always says he doesn't want to comment. I appreciate you, pops. So tune in next week. We're gonna have a fun one. You know what we're gonna do, Jared? I got you. Okay, so do y'all believe God was black or what? God is not a color. Jesus was black though. Jesus was black. You can't be born that much in the Middle East. With a hair of wool, right? So fro, feet of bronze, Blackfoot, and then be called white. The person you see in the depiction of Jesus is the son of a pope. Is the son of a pope within the 12th century. He was a deadbeat. He was basically the stereotypical rich kid. You know, I was like, dude, I don't want to do anything today. So his father decided to have him in every church. All right, so beware of that. White Jesus is just a pope's son that you see on there. We go longer tonight. Yeah, we went an hour 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So religion's one of those things, you know. But truly appreciate y'all for coming through. Pops, I know you're about to call me, so I'm gonna get ready for that. Appreciate y'all. Jared, last word.
Cthulhu sleeping in the oceans. Don't wake him up. That's my advice.
Man, we're just talking about God, not God of the darkness. Hey, yo. Appreciate y'all. Have a good night.